What is inner child healing? Inner child healing is a therapeutic process where we reconnect to the child that is still within us today. And this child is not a concept. It's a very real part of us, an aspect of our consciousness that still dictates our behaviors and our emotions and our thoughts today. And so this is deeply healing, because what we do in this process is we uncover the wounds of the child. We uncover the unmet needs of the child, and we begin to show up for them in a very real way, where we become the mother and the father to the child that is within us. We learn to give ourselves the unconditional love that child needs, and that is what is the most healing part of this process. There are some obvious signs that you may have a wounded inner child, some red flags to look out for. Well, if you have an insecure attachment style, if you are constantly afraid that you have done something wrong, or that you have upset your loved one, if you are afraid to express yourself, if you have trust issues, if you have a hard time expressing yourself authentically or opening up to others, if you have any kind of addiction, it could be alcohol, drugs, or food addiction, if you have codependency in relationships, if you can't be alone. You know when you're healing. So you're doing inner child healing work. How do you know it's working? When you stop reacting unconsciously, you stop projecting, you stop blaming, you stop needing others to be a particular way, or needing your environment to be a particular way for you to feel safe. You basically feel more empowered, and you're much less reactive. Where you would usually react unconsciously, you become aware, oh, this is a trigger. This is a trigger for me. And you begin to understand that your triggers are just different aspects of the inner wounded child. And so the moment you stop reacting from those triggers and you act consciously in a way that is in alignment with who you really are, someone who's totally in their power, then you know that you're healing. That doesn't mean you're not going to be triggered, but you won't react unconsciously. You'll first understand, oh, I'm triggered. And that's healing. What does the inner child healing process look like and feel like? It looks like when you are being hijacked by the inner child, by the wounded inner child, you recognize that it's the wounded inner child. And in those moments, you literally become the mother, the father, the caretaker to that gentle, pure, sensitive part of you. And you offer that part of you the comfort that they need, the security that they need. You reassure them that they are loved, that they are safe. And you become the caretaker. You no longer search for validation outside of yourself, or approval outside of yourself, or even love outside of yourself. You are the love that you've been waiting for, and you are the one that fills that void. Nothing and no one outside of you. What does someone with a healthy inner child look like? Someone with a healthy inner child has a very secure attachment style. They no longer rely on their partners or relationships or anyone outside of them to fill a void or to make them feel complete. Someone with a healthy inner child no longer seeks outside validation or approval. They give that approval and that validation to themselves. Someone with a healthy inner child is more connected to their joy. The child represents joy and play and sensitivity and imagination and creativity. And so they're more connected to their sense of joy. They don't take life as seriously. They're not as reactive. They feel secure in who they are and what they have to offer. They no longer seek outside sources to fill any kind of void. You want to do inner child healing work, but you don't remember your childhood. And that is very common because remember that the child represents the unconscious mind. And where we store all of our trauma and our wounds and the pain of the past is in the unconscious mind. And it's a defense mechanism where we repress those memories. So even if you don't remember your childhood or you don't really want to get too deep into your childhood, you don't need to. Because the most important part of inner child healing is you becoming your own mother, you becoming your own father, you giving the child within you that love and that sense of safety, that unconditional presence and attention. And the more that you do that, the more that you heal your inner child. So even if you don't remember the wounds of the child, you don't need to, as long as you connect to the inner child and you become their caretaker.